Well, all right, let's talk about Justin Fields and what he was able to do effectively in this game. I thought he had a pretty good game. Again, tough competition going up against Philadelphia, but this game was very competitive for most of it, and I think in part because of good play from Justin Fields. So I want to talk about what he did well, where the issues happened, and what part of the issues were his fault, what part of the issues weren't his fault, all of that good stuff. But yeah, let's just get into it. Let's start off with this play. Let's start off with a throwing play, why don't we? I still do have to say that there's been some inconsistencies in the throwing game. He has not yet become the guy in the passing game that we hope he can be, but I still feel like every game he shows me some flashes of like, man, if he can just get this consistently, that he can be an elite quarterback in this league. Something like this, it's he's going to fake a handoff to his left, then roll out towards his right. You see the route that he wants to throw to as they're going up against zone coverage. The zone coverage guys can kind of move in a little bit, and you can throw towards the side. Watch as Fields runs this play action and then is going to roll out towards his right. You see that he has a receiver towards his right. But again, it's a tough throw. It's not wide open. It's kind of a tough angle, and he's on the move. This is not easy for him to make. However, he makes it look easy with a very accurate throw. They're able to pick up a first down on that play, and stuff like this, Fields has consistently done well, I would say. These kind of throws he's actually really good at and has a very high hit rate at. So, keep doing this stuff. Again, you can't do it every play. Teams will catch on, but, making this a part of your offense, which we have seen them do, is a big part of how he is able to still put up some numbers at times, even in the passing game. But of course, let's talk about his running game, because that is what he is known for, right? His running game is what he does well, and you don't have to apologize for that. Move the ball down the field however you can. That is what Justin Fields is doing. And the reality is, I'm sorry, but Philadelphia, on 3rd down and 4, you just can't play this coverage. Part of the reason why it feels like Fields runs for a first down on every 3rd down is because teams will try to play man coverage against the Bears, which, I get it. I understand why you would do this. But I think if you're doing this, you can't just do a traditional cover 1 blitz. I think you have to have a spy on Fields in this situation. Even that's a dangerous spot. But having 5 guys look away from Fields, as of right now, it's just, I don't think it's the preferred strategy. But again, it's tough because if you play zone, they can just call a concept designed to beat zone and win that way. So either way, Fields puts you in tough spots if you're a defensive coordinator. However, watch how Fields is going to take the snap right here. He is going to just step up the second he sees what the coverage is, which is smart. Again, some people will say this as a negative. I am not one of those people. I think it's a great positive. I've never been a guy who says you should always look to throw first. If you have a running lane, take the running lane. Get the first down. Your job as a quarterback is to move the ball down the field. Do it however you can. Fields looks up, sees that he can move the ball down the field, and so as you see, he's going to just easily pick up some yards and slides, which, again, something I think he's gotten better at as well this season is protecting himself. It still takes a couple hits that every game I feel like I'm like, you don't got to do that, Fields. Maybe don't do that. But for the most part, way better than his rookie year where it felt like every game he was taking a couple of just brutal shots. Being better protecting himself, knowing when to run a little bit quicker as well this year, not being afraid to run right when he sees a running lane. All that stuff is part of why we've seen him have this breakout year too. And then something like this, which is just impossible. This is just one of those, only Justin Fields makes this play. I really believe that. I really believe only Justin Fields makes this play. It's a 2nd down and 27, so not a great situation. And, in fairness, it was because of a fumble by Fields to set that up. But okay, 2nd down and 27. Well, what's going to happen? Not great stuff. Fields takes a snap, doesn't love what he sees down the field, and now there is pressure, and not just pressure. I mean, there is a Philadelphia player with his arms wrapped around Justin Fields. This should be 3rd and 35. Somehow Fields gets out of that and is able to then put his head up and run. Also worth mentioning, this was against zone, not against man, so there were plenty of Philadelphia players keeping an eye on him, and in fact, at this spot, he realistically should go down here, right? Great stuff by Justin Fields to get to this spot, but, probably should get tackled here, which would still create a 3rd down and 11, which, definitely a lot better than 3rd and 35, but still not ideal. However, somehow he makes a move off of, over those guys as well. He's going to end up stepping out at the 9-yard line right there, but still a great run from Justin Fields. Looked like he had a touchdown for a second. Didn't matter. They got the touchdown on the very next play, so they're all right about it. Just fantastic stuff from Justin Fields. It really was. I mean, this plays another example of just the stuff that he can do, where what's going to happen is it's going to be a design quarterback run to the offense's right, so towards the bottom of the screen. You see the Philadelphia player I have circled in black. He is going to be unblocked on this play. They do have a blocker coming over there, and they could use him on that guy if they wanted to. But watch as one Fields runs this play action and rolls towards the right. You see that, you see that at this spot. Again, if it's, I don't know, Jared Goff, you're concerned about a sack right here. But this is not quite Jared Goff levels of athleticism. Watch him honestly easily run by, and even though the player up front missed his block, Fields still easily picks up the first down on that play. So again, he can do stuff like this. Now, unfortunately, they would, fumble right after, so it didn't help him out too much. But still, it's this kind of stuff that he brings to an offense. However, going over here, again, I know some people will sometimes look at the passing totals and say, oh man, he must have really struggled. And I still do. My take is still that he has room to develop in the passing game. I think that that's reasonable. I think that he's shown that he can still be an effective quarterback without that, but still, I think that that's fair. Although a lot of the issues sometimes come with stuff like this, where it's a 3rd down and 10, down 4 points here at the 32-yard line. I would like to see them give Fields a chance here. Instead, they're just going to have Justin Fields quickly throw a halfback screen that barely goes for anything. And in fairness, there was a chance that could have worked out, right? Had one player made their block, it would have been close. I still don't think they get the first down there, but maybe you go for it on 4th and 2 or something like that. Maybe that was the intention. But the reality is, it never feels great when you have a quarterback who's making plays and you take the ball out of his hands. You'd rather have the ball in Justin Fields' hands on a play like that than not have it in his hands. At least that's kind of how I view it. So yeah, at the end of the day, for Justin Fields, I definitely thought that he, did some good stuff here. The injury definitely it's a little bit concerning. Obviously, you don't love to see your quarterback get hurt, although, I kind of feel like I jinxed him a little bit by saying, hey, he's done a better job at protecting himself this season, and then he ends up going down. So my bad on that, Justin. I jinxed you there. Shouldn't have said that, but although at the same time, I do agree with the general point that he has been doing a better job protecting himself, even if in this game he ended up getting banged up. That play it's late in the game, you're running, trying to make something happen. It wasn't like he was taking unnecessary hits there, unless you believe every hit is unnecessary. And he was able to come back into the game, which was nice to see, because again, it was concerning for a second. Are we going to see Nathan Peterman? Which, I wouldn't have hated to see Nathan Peterman, but not if it meant Justin Fields gets hurt, for sure. So, it's good to see that he was able to come back and at least be okay there. So, at the end of the day, again, I know the box score stats aren't impressive. I know that the overall final score isn't that impressive with the Chicago Bears, but you can't look at just that stuff. Pay attention to it, sure, but you got to pay attention to more than just that. So, at least that's what I think about Justin Fields. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.